Buzzworthy Radio is on. The entertainment show that gets you up close and personal with today's hottest stars. Here's your host, Navelle J. Lee.
Hey guys, it's Navelle J. Lee and welcome into a new Buzzcast here at Buzzworthy Radio. Have a great show for you today. Jackie Zeman stopped by. She plays the role of Bobbie Spencer on ABC Daytime's General Hospital. We talked to her about her first days in Port Charles and also the anniversary show that they did that aired back in April of this year, and bringing in Dee Wallace to play Pat, the Spencer sister, as well as Luke's final days in Port Charles. But first up, Ken Shriner stopped by. He plays Scotty Baldwin on the show, and he also started with General Hospital in 1977. Very smarmy, well, he wasn't smarmy in the beginning, but he certainly became smarmy, and we love him for it. And what's going on between Scotty Baldwin and Ava Jerome, played by Maura West? Loving some of that, right, guys? All that and more with Ken Shriner starting right now. Check it out. I can't help but love smarmy Scotty Baldwin on General Hospital, so.
Yeah, well, he's certainly been swarming around there for enough, and, yeah, thank you.
No, he's been swarming around for, what is it now, 38 years?
No, I'm in my 39th year of swarming around there. Of course, the first 2 years there was no swarm. The first 3 years, there was a lovable Scotty Baldwin, so he's only took on the swarmy character for about 35 years.
Oh, excuse me, 35 years, yes.
Of swarmy. Yes.
It tends to happen when, the guy that raped the woman that you love comes in and swoops her off her feet, gets married. It tends to change a person. Sure.
Yes. That's what I've always said. I said that can goof you up a little bit. Yeah,
absolutely. But it's working in your favor, and we've seen a lot of stuff happen with Scotty since 1977 when you first came on the show, and I'm kind of liking you working opposite of Maura West on this show. What's it like playing opposite of her? I know you used to work with her on World Turns for a little bit.
I had a taste with her on As the World Turns. I think I had one or two scenes maybe with her, and I remember that it was like I really enjoy her, and she was fun, and I hung out with her in real life a lot with that crowd on As the World Turns because they were really fun. Martha Byrne and Michael Park and Maura and all that stuff. So naturally, when she came to General Hospital, I was always hoping that some way there would be I could cross into her world, or and it happened, and it kind of been working. I think that the General Hospital fans seem to like us a lot together. So we have some stuff coming up on the air this week, tomorrow, and during the next few days. So I can only hope that the powers that be, say, let's go, let's run with this ball. Looks like this could be a touchdown.
I hope so. I mean, obviously, Twitter fans love your character whenever he's on. And, I personally, for one, would love to see more of Scott Baldwin on the show, in more ways than one. So, it's great having you back, but we'd love to have you back even more. So,
well, I'd love to be back as much as I can get there, but, that's always, there's no rhyme or reason down how we all get that it's all got to be. There's so many terrific characters and actors connected with General Hospital now that they've got a pretty much like in the golden years of Hollywood, like MGM and their stock characters that they have. They've got gold in so many people down at General Hospital.
Yeah, and it's great that it's been, gosh, how many years since we've seen Scott sparingly within the last, I would say, I would be generous, 8 years. Mainly during the when you had the other son on the show, when
Logan.
Logan was on the show, and then it just seemed like we hadn't seen you for quite a little bit, and then all of a sudden, maybe about 3 years ago, you started to creep back in on a consistent basis, which was really good under, Ron. Ron came in and he brought back you and Jackie Zeman and Lynn Herring. And I'm mentioning these names, I'm like, these were all Scotty's women back in the day. And Scotty,
right.
I'm saying it, and I'm going like, wow, I just mentioned every single woman that Ken Shriner just had something opposite of years ago.
Also, don't forget, Robin Madsen, Scotty and Heather had a big run. It was, so I had, some business with Heather. You're right. It's like he's kind of cut his path through there, and that's now look at him. He's now trying to move into, Ava Jerome and has put her in a stable. Yeah, he's that rogue Scott Baldwin, right? He's up to no good. He's always got his eye on the next fresh meat.
Well, you know what? I think Ava might give Scotty a run for his money. So
yes, I bet she would.
I think she would. But speaking of Robin Madsen, you guys, Scott and Heather somehow managed to come up with another son named Franco. I was very surprised when that went down. What was your reaction to that when that happened 2 years ago? When basically that was dropped.
Well, when it happened and that I all of a sudden became Franco's father, to me, I thought I'd hit pay gold because I remember how great stuff I had with when all of a sudden they brought Scotty on for Lee Baldwin to have something to do, and I thought, wow, hopefully I can get some of the Lee, Scotty, now Scotty Franco father-son scenes, and they kind of wrote us some fun stuff with this kind of, and I think Rogers, has a gift for comedy, and that I thought, well, this is could be some pure gold here, if they give us something to do. So I'm always waiting for, more of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. We have to see that. I mean, obviously, and you've been in this business for, you said, over 30 years. You've been in not just GH, but you've been on several different shows. You've gone through so much material with different writers, and now we have new writers on the show right now. Do you think it makes it that much difficult coming in with new writers each time, or you just come in and just do the work and let the work speak for itself?
The writer, I've worked Jean Passanati, I've worked for her As the World Turns, and it's all about. I don't know how it all goes down. It's if you happen to fall into some of the stories that they want to tell, then you're lucky. If not, then you're out. You're in or out.
Right.
So there's no rhyme or reason to how any of it works anymore. So all I can do is hope that there's, they got an idea for, let's see, well, then he'll be the lawyer for that, or he'll be this, or he'll be that, or his son will get in trouble and then he'll step in and legally, you can just hope that you're applied to or thought about when they're constructing stories that you fit in. Otherwise, you're the odd man out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, honestly, we saw the previews for what's coming up tomorrow, and it's going to look really good between you and Maura. As you said earlier in this conversation, I really hope they do a lot more with those two. And even thinking about it, the way Scotty feels about Sonny Corinthos, I'm surprised you haven't had any scenes with Richard Burgi yet.
I'm surprised all the time, but I don't know. I should have. Yeah, but that's a whole I'm not sure. Why did I step out of the district attorney's office? Yeah, but all right. Well, all right. There's much more. There's more. You could have more fun as a lawyer for hire. Obviously. So that could be good too. That I'm not saddled with doing the right thing. That I could work on the other side of the law. But it's all good, depending on if the ball is thrown over my way, I'll take it. I'll run with it. But I got to get the ball. Somebody's got to pass it.
We're gonna try to pass it to you. Especially,
pass the ball.
We're gonna pass the ball, and as long as you don't get the ear bitten anymore, we'll pass. We'll pass.
No more. Yeah. Well, finally we got rid of him. So
I'm sure Scotty's thrilled. I'm sure Scotty's thrilled. Luke's gone now. Maybe he can make the move on Laura again. But I think that ship sailed, though. I think there's more. I think there's more gold with Ava Jerome and Scotty Baldwin, though. I think that's just me.
I think there's gold wherever they want to mine for it. But I did feel. I mean, and it's as appropriate as it is now that you mention it, that there was always that Luke got the best of everything. He ran off with my wife, and now that I think about it, he actually got to leave town, and I never even got to say good riddance. So where was that scene?
I never thought of that. I mean,
he left town with his, nod to the town and into the fog, but he should have walked smack into me, saying, "Yeah, goodbye, and don't come back."
Just one final swing to the face, like
that's
something to remember me by.
Let me off into your new career here, off into wherever Luke Spencer's off to.
There's so many questions. Like, why didn't he get that? I still don't even know what's going on with Scotty's love life because that seems to be happening off screen. I'm like, oh, is he still with Lucy? No, wait, he's with Bobbie. No, wait, he's with Lucy. I still don't know.
I don't know. Who knows what? All I know is the last time I saw Scotty Baldwin, it looks like he was eyeing fresh meat in Ava Jerome, like he's moving on. But that's I can only do so much in the time I have on camera time.
That's right. And besides General Hospital, I have to tell you this too. I love Justice League Unlimited, and henceforth how we connected because of Susan Eisenberg, who I love so much as the voice of Wonder Woman on that show, and you were on that show as well. And the one day I was watching, I heard the voice, I recognized it within 1 millisecond that it was you. And I said, "Oh, that's Ken doing the voice of Green Arrow."
Yeah, that was that fell into my lap, and I still to this day don't know, because I realized how hard it is in the pursuit of voiceover work to get a superhero character. And I got a call, I don't know, it was 10 years ago or whatever it was, 10 years ago. And they said, "Would you be interested in doing the voice of the Green Arrow?" I said, absolutely. And I don't know why, how, where, when, what, whether somebody had said, well, maybe we could make the Green Arrow like that fast-talking district attorney Scott Baldwin. He's kind of good with that. Maybe this, maybe that. I still don't know. But, I had the greatest time doing it. And then when I went to New York, I was able to – it wasn't as much fun because you had to do it alone in a booth somewhere where they could get a recording booth. But when I was doing it at the place they did it here in L.A., you were there with all the other actors doing it at the same time.
Okay.
So that was more fun. It was like an old-fashioned, where you were doing radio,
Right.
And there was Superman and the Batman, and everybody was there. So that was fun.
I didn't realize that in one area you did it just in the booth by yourself. I always thought wherever it was when you did the voiceover work, especially if you're working with a group of people, that you would have done it in the same room. I had no idea it was just...
No, because it was I had gone to New York to do As the World Turns, so then they said, we've got a couple episodes with the Green Arrow coming up, and, we've got a recording place. And then one time, I was down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I said, well, how can I help you? They said, well, we found a recording studio in Fort Lauderdale. If you can go there, we can just, record your material. So there I was sitting in Fort Lauderdale, doing it like without the other superheroes. Like it was very isolating, but I was still flattered that they had kept me in the part, even though I wasn't there with the other people doing it.
Sure.